So this is the sansha spawn with 3 hunters. This might be a little bit tricky. Um, we have a suppressor over here as well, so I'm gonna suffer a lot of damage here. I might even die. So I have to spread. Right, so apply DPS to this one. It's going to be my primary target. Um, one of the skills that you learn when you get into a um, more advanced state is thermodynamics, and what that allows you to do is overheat your modules. So that's something that I might need to do here. If I did this with the hardener, it gives me increased resistance. If I do it with the afterburner, I'll probably get extra speed. Um, with the missile launchers, it should give me an extra rate of fire. So yeah, I'm taking a fair bit of damage now from these hunters. So I'm going to try and burn away a bit. These guys are really tough. This isn't exactly the best. So I was a little bit touching cloth with that one. I think I might survive only just, but I've had to burn my afterburn at 58%. They are going to come back in for a bit of extra wave, but what I've done is I've changed to optimal range script on the disruptor, just to try and negate this guy from applying his DPS to me. That's something I had to do on the fly there, because I do prefer to have it as optimal tracking speed. So that's that one down, so we're down to 1 now. One thing you want to avoid when you're using these disruptors is these towers. If the AI gets dragged to them, they basically get increased tracking, which is kind of negating what you're trying to do. So try and drag them away from there as best you can. There is a suppressor over here that's going to start shooting our missiles if I'm not careful. But I should be okay now because I've only got 1 left to go. He is applying DPS to me again, but because I am in his optimal, but we should be fine. I might need to wait a minute or two before we go into the next room. So still heading back to the biocache. That is a pretty difficult room. I'm not sure if a new pro could actually get away with that one. But if you manage it, you manage it. But that's the way I dealt with it. I would definitely recommend switching to optimal range script for it. I think if you use the tracking speed, it's not really helping you on that occasion because they must have really good tracking. So let's get this one opened up. Let's see what's inside. So where I left you on the last video, we had 2.4 million in loot, and we've just picked up 3.4 million on this occasion, probably because of these 2 filaments are worth a fair bit. So that's a good result. That's kind of more what I was hoping for and expecting. Now I'm going to reload my missile launchers. I'm going to wait on the gate for another minute. We've got plenty of time to spare. We've only used 4 minutes to get to this stage. I just want a bit more shield HP before we go in. Hopefully it's not another sansha spawn. One of the other ones I'm looking for, Kikimora spawn's a bit difficult, and the Drekavak's a little bit difficult to get through as well. So we'll give this another minute to get a bit more shield hit points, and then we'll jump through. I could have taken the time to loot one of these sub-nodes, but you're probably only going to get 100 to 200,000 in loot out of it, and it's just not really worth your time usually, so I tend to just leave them. So we'll jump through now. We've got 70% shield, so we have the Tyrannos spawn, but we've also got a massive inertia field So we need to be quite careful. And we've also got an illuminator cruiser, so we need to make sure that cruiser dies, because that is going to make a lot of work for us. So I'm going to apply... no, I'm going to change that to tracking speed for the Tyrannos. Go back to tracking speed. Yeah. This orange field here, that's going to, if you're active shield fit, it's going to increase your capacity usage of your shield booster. So that's something to take into consideration as you burn into it, because you're going to have to get to this Tyrannos at some point. But this illuminator is actually target painting me, which makes it easier for the battleship to hit me. But now he's cleared off field, I can start applying the DPS to the battleship. Again, the best thing you can do is try and get an orbit of 500 on him, but you don't want to be burning straight at him, because if you do that, it basically helps him. You do have the tracking disruptor to help you by making his tracking better, but if he gets that straight line shot at your ship, he can actually do a lot of damage to you. Now, usually in a frigate I can get the tight 500 meter orbit on this guy, because I'm usually doing like 1500 meters a second, but the Corax is a bit slower. The Corax is only 900 meters a second, so you can do these T1 Darks in a Talwar, and a Talwar is a lot faster than the Corax. It even does more DPS, but it doesn't have the tank and it doesn't have the tracking disruptor extra mid slot to allow you that bit of E-War advantage that the Corax has over the Talwar fit. If you are in my corporation, if you go to the message of the day in Corp Chat, both fits are in there, so you can choose which one you want to use. They're both about the same price. The Talwar does run things a bit quicker because it has more DPS, but it's a lot less tanky. So you may find if you make one mistake, you will be punished severely, and it really does struggle with the sansha spawns. The last room that I had, I don't think I would have managed that with a Talwar, because I had the targeting range script on this tracking disruptor. I think I was able to get away with it, but I don't think you will with the Talwar. So I think the Corax is the better option, but the few runs that I've done, the Corax is doing them roughly 11 to 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, sorry, and the Talwar is usually about 8 to 10 minutes to complete them. So I'm going to start heading back towards the can because he's nearly dead. There is some distance from us now, so it's kind of going into his kind of optimal range, so he might be able to hit me with a lucky shot, but we'll see. And he's dead. Let's see how much loot we get out of this one. So, we have 1 million in loot. So, the last round we had 2.4 from the entire 3 rooms. On this occasion, if we ignore the Calm Dark that carried through, we now have 7 million, take away the 2.4, so that's nearly 5 million in loot just from 2 rooms, and we've got 1 more to go. Oh, reload that. And let's jump through. Got tracking speed equipped on the disruptor. So, pacifier. I've not come across this one yet. Let's see. I'm not sure if these are missile fit or if they're gunnery. No, they're missile fit. So, it looks like they're rockets as well, so I don't think their rockets are going to be able to hit me if I get certain range, but I think they've got the speed advantage over me, so... Oh, yeah, I'm getting punished severely here. There's one of them down anyway. Probably gonna die here. See if I can drag them in this inertia cloud. This is one of the reasons why I like active shield, because you can see if you're tanking them very quickly, whereas buffer, you don't know until you're kind of deep in shield, which obviously I'm not able to tank them on this occasion. This is actually a blue cloud rather than inertia. It's going to be touch and go here. I think he's probably going to win. Overheat the hardener. Oh, I got away with it. Oh, that was lucky. Don't think a new bro is going to last. I had to overheat a lot of stuff there. The afterburner's 96%. The hardener's 58%. Launchers are 56%. So I only just got away with that one. So that's one of the new spawns that they've added ever since the update that they've put in September, which has added new enemies, new clouds, but that's certainly one of the difficult ones. I did not expect that one a little bit. So let's see what loot we've got from this. Again, if you do die in the Abyss, another 1 million. Don't worry about it. Don't be afraid to jump back in. The reason being, these are very cheap fits. And if you want to try them out on Tranquil Keys first, you can do that. I mean, that was 8 million, take away 2.4, so it's roughly 5.5 million from that. So within 2 rooms, we've picked up 8 million ISK in terms of loot, and it's taken us roughly 30 minutes to do it. Okay, now for a new brawl and in 8 million ISK, doing something that teaches a bit more about the mechanics of EVE and certainly like PvP, that's pretty decent money. That's nearly 20 million ISK an hour. So the more skill points you invest, the more Tech 2 modules and things you start to equip, the easier it's going to be in the long run. So we're going to head back to Omar. Easier it's going to be in the long run, and I mean that's 8 million ISK. Let's have a look. If you ignore all the loot, this is actually an 8.5 million ISK fit. So we've paid for the cost of it in 30 minutes. Now, you might be unlucky and you die in the first room, but just get back on it, keep going back in and trying to make money. You might die every 1 in 4 or 5 attempts, but you're still going to be making money. Every time you're going to learn from it. You're going to learn what to do with different spawns. Like, that was the first time that I'd seen the pacifier spawn, and now that I know that it's rockets instead of turrets, it makes me think that I need to basically drag them into the blue clouds that are going to increase the signature radius so that my light missiles are going to apply more damage to them quickly. And also what I could do is I could go to the suppressor towers and then get all the rockets killed by the towers, and it would mean that I could maybe kill off those frigates before they get a chance to apply DPS to me. But it's something I'm going to need to keep repeating that room to see how bad it's going to get, because for me, I nearly died there and I'm an experienced pilot, whereas a new bro might not have things like the ability to overheat. He might not have the ability to, you know, have the same DPS or the same tank as myself, so he's going to suffer a lot more. So I need to work on that a bit more. and see how often that's going to occur and see what I can do about it. But as you can see, I've took a lot of damage to my poor Corax. He's brought me enough ISK in to pay the cost, but he is nearly dead. But oh well. Anyway, that's the end of that video, and thankfully we got a different spawn. Okay, thanks for listening.